Welcome back to the second part of our junk journaling series. Ginger here. If you came to this video without watching the first part, it's fine. I left a link in the description box and you can check it out later. Just to recap, in the first part of our tutorial, I demonstrated how to make mini books like this one here. I also created vintage looking paper by soaking everything in coffee. So everything that we'll be using today in this video came from that staining process. In this second video, I'll show you how to make this trifold insert. We'll also decorate a card. Then I'll build the entire journal by assembling and layering together all the note cards, inserts, and tiny components I made separately. I'm using here an old stamp album. It's going to be the framework of our journal. The pages of this album are cardboard thick and are very stiff, so they can carry a big load of attachments. Now, what makes a junk journal interesting is if it's sort of interactive. If it has a lot of flaps you can explore and hidden compartments you can write on, cards or envelopes you can open, or pockets you can stuff things in. When you hold a junk journal, it becomes a sensory experience, and that's what I wanted to make. I know other people build multiple pages for their journals, and sometimes to the point that their journals are so many inches thick and are bursting with decorative elements. However, for the purpose of demonstration in this video, I'm only building a couple of pages. All the sheets of paper, magazine cutouts, and torn maps you see me use here, they were dyed using brewed coffee. But to age your paper a bit more, you'll see me apply distress inks along the edges. I just want my paper to look like they were burned. This trifold I'm working on right now is actually an old invoice which I creased into 3 parts. The whole idea is to make a pocket on the front cover and a collage in the intersection of this trifold. For that purpose, I picked a map, a few stamps, leftover scrapbook paper, and some lined pages from a planner which can be used as writing space. Now, you don't have to use the exact same things as I'm using in this video. You can use whatever paper, magazines, or scraps you have at home. This project is here to encourage you to be creative with whatever materials you already own. I also want to show you that you can mess up your decoupage with acrylic inks. You can doodle in it with crayons, you can smear paint on it, or just write anything you want, anything. Just play and express yourself intuitively as you play. Bottom line, have fun as you create. trifold insert is finished, you can close it with a paper clip and slip it into a pocket like what I did here. The left side of the stamp album page was built off camera, so sorry about that. I didn't realize my equipment shut down on me the whole time I thought the video was running. In any case, that entire left side was just covered with coffee stained paper. It was a simple collage, pretty much the same process as what I already showed you with the trifold. The only noteworthy detail is the pocket on the bottom left corner, which I glued down along the left and bottom edges. Now the next project in this video is a card. I'll embellish a coffee stained blank card. I cut up black cardstock and scribbled my favorite Bible verse using Uniball Signo white ink pen. Then I'll glue this on the card. On the opposite side, I attached another stained lined paper, which I tore from an old address book. Remember, a junk journal is intended for journaling, so there has to be plenty of blank spaces there too. Again, I want to go in and distress edges for a more heritage look. Sometimes I use a stamp pad, like you saw me in the first video. Other times I use this bottled distress stain from Holtz. Later, I'll use antique Brilliance wax from Alchemy. Now on the flip side of the card, the front cover, I just bundled together 3 loose sheets of paper and attached them with a paper clip. These sheets of paper, they are removable. They're not just decorative, they're also functional. You can write tiny notes on them. On the bottom of this card, I glued down a broken zipper. For most people, a broken zipper is junk, right? But for me, it's art. It makes a fine border and a great accent to the card. Now that we're done creating 2 journaling pieces, it's time to assemble them into the page. In case you're wondering, some of the mini books and pockets you'll see in this next segment of the video, they were made in part 1 of the tutorial. Again, if you want to refer back to part 1 of the series, the link to the video is down on the description box. To assemble, I chose a plain rectangular piece of fabric as my background. All I did was to wrap decorative tape, washi tape, around the cards to attach them to the fabric. As you can see here, there are strips of tape on both sides of the cards, both on the left card and the right card. This process isn't an exact science. I didn't measure or align the tape. I just slapped them in there and that was it. As for the middle pocket, I just stapled it to the cloth. It doesn't matter to me if the staple wire is visible. I kind of like the industrial vibes that staple wires give my project, so I sort of slammed a few of them in there in the journal. The staple wires are obvious from the back of the fabric, but that's fine. We'll cover that up later anyway. Obviously, the cloth is too flappy to hold our journal cards, so I'll need to glue down this entire assembly on a more sturdy cardboard. Now the cardboard I picked was wide enough to accommodate the fabric, plus an extra inch of allowance so that I can attach the protruding tab to the stamp album. The goal is to glue this whole package to the page so that it becomes an extension I can flip back and forth. But before I do that, I wanted to decorate the cardboard first. If you'll do this project at home, don't worry about what cardboard to use. You can even recycle any cereal box, and it doesn't matter because we'll decoupage anyway to cover the ugly parts. Like I mentioned in part 1 of the series, employing fabric in your collages can add interesting textures and visual appeal to your journal. That's why I keep in handy all sorts of scraps from old clothes I've purged from my cabinet. I kept some of the baby clothes my kids had outgrown and harvested them for their cute ribbons, embroidery, floral patterns, or even hemline stitching. If you notice, I poured glue only on one side of the denim strip. That's intentional because I plan to insert a card here. The fabric then serves a double purpose. It's not just covering up the cardboard backing, it's also a tiny side pocket for another journaling card. Now watch as I attach the completed flap to the stamp album. In a while, this cardboard tab will also be hidden under layers of collage paper. Just a quick note, I'm using Mod Podge with gloss finish. Mod Podge not only acts like glue, it also gives a shiny top coat to the decoupage. That's why I brush it over the page as well. If you're not a fan of glossy finishes, Mod Podge has a matte version, or you can just use plain craft glue, that's fine. I'll finish up the journal by covering the stamp album page with bits and pieces of coffee stained paper and fabric. If you notice, I don't smooth out the paper when I glue. I don't aim for perfection. It's okay to crease the paper or to lay it down in such a bumpy random way. Remember, this is a vintage themed journal. Any grunge, tear, or fold makes the journal look worn out and used, and that's what our theme is about. That said, feel free to make mistakes. Intuitive collaging is relaxing because you don't have to overanalyze the layout. Since all the materials were dyed the same way, the brownish color theme itself will make the project look cohesive, even if the elements were patched randomly without the aid of rhyme or reason. That's it, friends. We've completed the 2-part junk journal step-by-step walkthrough. Thank you for joining me here at Art That Plays and Prays. Tune in for more art videos and motivational podcasts by subscribing to my channel. Hope to see you again next time, and God bless you.